AM Sports Report brought to you by Rock & Sons Tire and Auto, east end of Adams and LeGrand. If you need anything done for your vehicle, go see JB and the boys. LeGrand High School cross country, crazy story. They had the top 3 finishers at the state championship. The state champ, second place, third place, and somehow only got second place as a team. That's unheard of. And I talked to Alma, the head coach, yesterday about it on the phone, and I was like, "What? How does that happen?" And she said, "It's just the way it all fell. Their runner, you know what I mean?"
Right.
And so they ended up with a second place. CC Villa Gomez won the state title. Last year's state champion, Brooke Perry, finished second, and then 2 years ago, state champion Emily Tubbs finished third. So you had 3 state champs from LeGrand all on the podium at 1, 2, and 3 this last Saturday. And
that's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. I wonder if I'm gonna interview CC today, and I'm gonna ask her if they did that on purpose, because it's very possible that they did.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like they say, hey, like you won it last year, you won it the year before.
I see.
Here, we're gonna give. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's possible.
Yeah,
I wouldn't do it myself because cross country is an individual sport.
Yeah.
It's team sport, but it's individual too.
Right.
So, I mean, who knows? I'm going to ask her about it, though. EOU women's soccer last night went to penalty kicks in the first round of the CCC tournament and won against OIT 4-3 on penalty kicks. Crazy, man. They play tomorrow night at 7 in the semifinals against Northwest. And, I mean, they got a chance to make the national tournament, especially if they can win this game tomorrow night. EOU football dropped their final home game of the year this last Saturday against Southern, 41-24. It was senior day. They honored, I think, like 12 seniors. And in honor of the seniors, tomorrow on the sports show, I'm going to have senior Josh Mendoza and senior Carson Brown. And that'll be good because they're both multi-year starters. One's a defensive player, one's an offensive player. So you get to kind of like see, what it's like to be at the end of your football career. Like it's got to be hard. They've both been here for 5 years because of COVID. And they're both 5-year players, and this has been their life for 5 years, and now all of a sudden it's time to grow up and like
moving on,
go to the real world, right? EOU volleyball won both their games this weekend. They clinched the CCC regular season title. They'll host the CCC tournament, which means they'll have a game this Friday at 7:30 in Quinn. We don't know who they're playing yet because the first round of that tournament takes place at the sites of the teams that are the highest ranked. So basically you just move directly into the semifinals on Friday. So if EOU wins on Friday, they play Saturday for the CCC tournament championship. By them winning the CCC regular season tournament, they got an automatic bid to the national tournament. So they're in. Polls come out tomorrow. I would imagine we're going to sit right at number 3, which is fine. It's actually a really good spot. I like it better than where we were going into the national tournament last year, which was number 1. I'm not a fan of being number 1. It just feels like there's extra pressure that's not needed. EOU men's and women's wrestling kicked off their season this weekend at home. The women beat Evergreen State on Friday night in the duel, and the men beat Corbin and Evergreen. They had a double duel on Friday night. Today on the sports show, we're going to look into their season. Here's a little clip of that. Key returners. Who do we got?
Key returners. We've got, of course, Hunter Sparks, our first national finalist. He'll be returning
number
at 125
in the national tournament last year.
Yep. So he's coming in preseason ranked number 1.
Yep.
Our next highest returner coming in for preseason rankings is Braden Carson. And so, as a sophomore coming in, he was 1 round away. He was a blood round kid last year, 1 round from All-American, but coming in with the number 6 ranking this year, preseason.
That's solid.
Yeah. We've also got Kyle Knutson. Kyle Knutson, he's a returning All-American for us. Last year fell a little bit short of his goals,
right,
and becoming a 2-time All-American last year, so he's a little short there. But, he's coming. He put in a lot of work this summer, and so I'm excited to see what Kyle throws out on the mat. So those are our big 3.
Yeah.
But also we've got a couple other returners with Jackson Moreland. Jackson's a 2-time national qualifier. He was a blood round kid as well. And so he's coming in ranked, I believe, 20th right now.
That's not bad.
Not bad.
And we sit at 17, I think you said?
17,
in the country, in the toughest conference in the nation. I mean, I don't even think it's arguable. We have 6 teams in the CCC in the top 25.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And so I think we're kind of like the the Big Ten of NAI when it comes down to wrestling.
What's your goals for this year? What do you want?
Well, it's the same goal as the last 3 years. It hasn't changed. I'm going to be a national champ.
Yeah.
That's cream of the crop right there. That's what I want. That's what I'm going to go get.
Your goal, right?
I mean, a couple years ago, I was 2 points shy of it.
Yeah.
One match. Like, if I finished that match, I'd probably be a national champ right now.
So I had you on last year, right before the national championship?
I think
it was before.
It was before.
We didn't know that you would end up being second place in the country. Let's talk about that first. Let's talk about that match. Like, what was going through your head?
I was just glad to be there. Definitely, losing wasn't my goal.
Of course
but
not.
Making it there was a huge step just in my career. Like, that was something I'd been working with Azure the whole time. I was really excited to be there, and my mindset going into it is just, let it fly, have fun, and it didn't work out the way I wanted. I wrestled a kid. He's actually a good friend of mine. I was teammates with him the year prior, and so we wrestle each other every day. He's a stud. He's a 2-time national champion, and he got the best of me. A little bit of riding time made the difference in the match, but
you ever beat him before?
We go back and forth in the room all the time. I mean, he beat me, I beat him. It was just a battle every day. But
so it was like a coin flip, basically.
It could be. Yeah. Some days it was tough. Some days, I was winning all the time, but it made me better. And so that made it a little more difficult, though, because we knew each other's style. We knew exactly what we were getting into, and just who could capitalize at a certain point was the deciding factor.
Yeah, so that right there, that was Hunter Sparks. He's the #1 wrestler in the nation in the NAI at 125. He was second place in the country last year. He lost in the national championship, which was a heartbreaker because he lost, like he said in the interview, on riding time. So if you in the NAI, well, in college wrestling, if you get points based on riding time, and so that wasn't necessarily a move or a takedown or something. It was just the fact that the dude was on top of him more than he was on top of the dude.
Okay.
Which is a heartbreaker, and I really think that he's going to be EOU's first national champion this year.
Wow.
Yeah, I really do. I mean, there's nothing that, as long as he stays healthy, that he's the dude at 125. He really is. I mean, there's nobody that's. I don't even think he's going to get challenged until well into the national tournament. Yeah, pretty cool. AM Sports Report brought to you by Rockin' Sons Tire and Auto. Like I said, if you need anything for your vehicle, they're down on the east end of Adams. Go see JB and the boys.